All right, y'all, we're taking a look at this boudoir photography business today. Gonna see if it's local/city search, which today has been combined, has BSS, yes or no. So we're back in the GBC universe, where we're taking declining boudoir photographers to the #1 boudoir photographer in their city. As always, our North Star is FSIC, where we focus on full spectrum intent capture. And that's because FSIC explains why all boudoir photographers either rise or fall. So we got our, FSIC down there in white, high intent peeps on the left, low intent peeps on the right. And if a boudoir photography business is rising, most likely they're pulling in peeps from this entire intent spectrum. But if we got a boudoir photography business that's falling, we're missing some chunks of people somewhere. And way over on the left, the highest intent peeps, that's Google search, social search, people searching for boudoir photo shoot in their city like right now. That's where we focus on talking about BSS, which is what we do here. And way over on the right, that's the lowest intent people. They ain't searching for boudoir right now. They most likely don't even know what the heck it is. So that's our sister brand. We're talking about BLCS, and right now we're only with that brand. We're only working with boudoir photographers currently running more than 10 grand per month in boudoir Facebook ads. All right, so BSS boudoir search sameness. That's when a boudoir photographer has 0 or 1 slots on page 1 of Google, and 0 slots is, that's a fast death of a business because we know that approximately 80% of Google searches never hit page 2. So we're invisible to literally 4 out of every 5 people from on page 2. Our business is going downhill fast. We care about being visible to the approximately 80% of searches that are page 1 only searches because they're the bulk of the market. Now, 1 slot on page 1 of Google is no bueno as well because basically, every other boudoir photographer on page 1 is going to have 1 slot as well at minimum. And so and there's 10 organic slots on page 1 of Google. And as a result, we're actually going to, we'll look the same as everyone else. When we look the same as everyone else, we will, buyers are just going to click. 80% of buyers anyway are going to, that's our page 1 search only. They're going to click and every single link on page 1, open everyone's website, fill out everyone's contact form, price shop everyone, get the best, offer rate for themselves. And, it's kind of just death by 1,000 cuts there. So we do not want to have BSS. And it's also because 0 or 1 slots on page 1 Google is actually not normal. It's actually a symptom of 2 deeper root causes. Those 2 deeper root causes are market saturation, which most people know about. That's, seems like every week someone gets a new iPhone, they turn out their Google My Business profile, and their website's an issue boudoir. So it's kind of, making it harder to rank on page 1 of Google. And, or someone gets a new camera, then they start posting in the mom Facebook groups that they now shoot boudoir. So it's more sellers for the same number of buyers, makes it harder for each seller to get buyers. And this happened, kind of big way with COVID. A lot of people lost their jobs, but couldn't earn money, but they still needed to earn money. So guess what? Everyone's already got a smartphone with an awesome camera, triple cameras on it. So it's really easy for people to turn and become boudoir photographers. Increase in supply, but demands remain the same. So that's market saturation. Now, the new one that most people have never even heard of is the false belief of page 1 equality. So a lot of boudoir photographers actually believe, okay, every boudoir photographer gets 0 or 1 slots on page 1 of Google just kind of naturally. That's simply how it happens. And, maybe we were on page 1, but new boudoir photographer came in, ranked the website above ours, we got pushed off. And as a result, we kind of just, that's simply how it is. I guess, we'll have to wait, hope they delete their website and Google stops indexing them for us to hopefully get back on page 1. And hopefully Google doesn't pull in somebody else to page 1 ahead of us. But this is actually a false belief. And I know it's a false belief because I know that Google will give as many page 1 slots to peeps as they want. And, as they're willing to put in the effort to acquire those, kind of those slots. So I know this because I actually went from 0 out of 10 slots page 1 on Google to 9 out of 10 slots page 1 on Google in only 10 days using this new methodology I developed. So false belief of page 1 equality. Basically, we got to kind of break through this mental barrier, break through this kind of this false belief, so we can even look around and see if there are solutions available that can solve it. Because people kind of naturally accepted this thing could not be solved. Now, boudoir photographer BSS is a disappearing boudoir photographer, a DBP. Yeah, because we got 0 slots on page 1 and we're on page 2 or deeper. Yeah, basically, approximately 80% of searchers have never seen us. We're definitely disappearing boudoir photographer, which matters because that is the first signal, the first kind of flashing emergency signal, emergency light that says, that basically says the boudoir photography business as a whole is eventually going to be disappearing. And same thing with 1 slot on page 1 of Google. I mean, we're still basically invisible. We're looking the same as everyone else. We're being price shopped to death. Just a real waste of time. So, it's the start of our universe here on the left. A disappearing boudoir photographer with BSS is caused by the dual horns of market saturation and page 1 equality, or the false belief of page 1 equality, which causes people to not act and go out there and take as many page 1 slots in Google as they want, because Google will give them. Now, luckily, we do have the solution. I created it. We know that BSS is treated with social search saturation, aka S cubed methodology. And it works exactly as it says. We saturate social search with the highest intent buyer keywords. And when we do that, it's kind of like the backside of the Andes Mountains down in South America, or kind of the small streams, the small rivers. That's saturating social search, and those eventually all flow together down to the big Amazon River. And that's Google page 1. So it's kind of everything flows to Google page 1, but it starts with saturating social search. Now, this is the exact strategy I use to go from, again, 0 out of 10 slots page 1 to 9 out of 10 slots on page 1 in 10 days. Show those results here in a little bit. And this is actually the only strategy I've seen for boudoir photographers that enables the boudoir photography business to actually successfully fight back against market saturation, and then to actually still continue to grow the business in the face of market saturation in a relatively quick time frame. Technically, the only other thing that can successfully do that is brand, having a massive, large, well-known brand. But dude, that takes 5 to 10 years. We ain't got 5 to 10 years. AI is here taking people's, going to start taking people's jobs. Actually, I believe it already has, and it's going to be taking more and more and more people's jobs. So the reason that I see that this is the only strategy that can do this in a relatively quick time frame is imagine we're in Nashville, Tennessee, and we're one boudoir photographer there, but there's a million total competing in the marketplace. Everyone's got their website, so we're all trying to rank up on Google page 1. But we say, okay, SQ methodology is the only thing that can actually help me compete ASAP, faster than anything else, without spending ads, without having to build a brand. Then what we do is we actually crank SQ methodology up to the max. So this is like what we would do in this scenario, crank it up to the max, or this hypothetical scenario. And let's say we get for 300 page 1 slots on Google, or across all the social networks for the highest intent keywords. And after we do that, we also, those flow onto Google, and let's say we get the first 300 slots on Google as well. That's like literally the first 30 pages. And as a result of that, anytime any buyer in our city is looking anywhere for us, or not for us, but for boudoir photo shoot, whatever those highest intent keywords are, anywhere, searching on social networks, all the largest ones, or searching on Google itself, they literally only see us for the first 30 pages. And if approximately 80% of searches never even hit page 2, then basically ain't nobody hitting page 31, which is where basically our competitors start. So obviously, if they can really only find us when they're searching, whose business will continue to grow? Ours. Whose business will, it will continue to decrease. Well, that's the other 999,999 boudoir photography businesses competing against us in the same city market, because we, turned SQ methodology up to the max and did way faster than creating a brand, way faster. And also, I believe it'll, help create a brand, I don't know, estimate 8x faster, just because of how many surfaces we'll actually be on. Now, once you're with the SQ methodology, we have page 1 visibility, P1V. And, this next initial benefit, first one is, getting the slots page 1 on Google. And then the second one is every new page 1 slot we get on Google, we are kicking competing boudoir photographers off page 1, effectively making them invisible. Now, this is super awesome because now we know if we're kicking our competitor off page 1 of Google, they're page 2 or deeper, approximately 80% of peeps ain't never going to find them because we know approximately 80% of Google searches are page 1 only searches. They never even hit page 2. And if someone instead used a strategy to do it to us, then we're the ones being made invisible. Now, page 1 visibility activates Boudoir search visibility for us. And Boudoir search visibility, this is our GBC recommended minimum of 3 out of 10 slots page 1 on Google. Because if everyone else got 1 slot and we got 3, well, buyers may not even click on anyone else. They may only click on ours because like, man, why does Google recommend these people, this person 3 times? There must be some reason. They must be good. And we actually kind of dominate everyone else on the page. And there's always like a very, very tiny chance someone could have 2 slots page 1 on Google as well. That's rare, though, especially in the cities with city searches because there's so much competition for keywords. And so as a result, even if the super rare chance someone has, two slots, there are 3 slots still dominate them as well. And a boudoir photographer with BSV is a visible boudoir photographer, a VBP. So we got a disappearing boudoir photographer with boudoir search sameness, which is caused by the dual horns of market saturation and page 1 methodology, or the false belief of page 1 equality. Then now we have the solution, SQ methodology. We achieve page 1 visibility, become a visible boudoir photographer with boudoir search visibility. All right, so now my results. This is the keyword I want to rank for, BLCS Boudoir. It's for our sister brand. And I exclusively used SQ methodology to do exactly this. And what I did, well, let's see the results. This after 10 days. So we got slot 1, organic, Instagram, me. Slot 2, me. Slot 3, me. Slot 4, me. Slot 5, me. Slot 6, me. Slot 7, me. Slot 8, me. And slot 10, me. So dude, 9 out of 10 slots Google page 1 in 10 days. This is my results I got using this methodology. Now we're back to the back to the main event. Gonna see if we got BSS for this local/city combined search here. Going to Martinsburg, West Virginia. All right, let's check it out. So yeah, I couldn't find any other big cities close by, so we're combining both these. So we got 1. We got 2. Let's see. All right, so we got 2 out of 10. So we do not have BSS, but we did not hit the GBC recommended minimum of 3 out of 10 slots, page 1 on Google, but at least we do not have BSS Boudoir search sameness. So if you are a disappearing boudoir photographer, meaning you've done the your local searches, your city searches for the highest intent boudoir buyer keywords, and you saw you either had 0 or 1 slots on Google page 1 for at least one of those searches, or you're not hitting the GBC recommended minimum of 3 out of 10 slots page 1 Google search for at least one of those searches, and you've accepted the false belief of page 1 equality is exactly that, a false belief. So now you can you freed your mind to actually look for a solution to take as many slots Google page 1 as possible, and you're realizing, wow, S-cubed methodology, perfect. That's the only solution for me. It's exactly what I've been waiting for. You're liking the initial benefits, more slots page 1 Google search. You actually doubly like the second initial benefit, kicking competing boudoir photographers off page 1, making them invisible to approximately 8% of the market by putting them on page 2 or deeper. And you're also looking ahead because you understand market saturation. You're like, wait, AI is taking more peeps jobs right now. Last time that happened with COVID, tons of new boudoir photographers enter the market. So you're already understanding way more boudoir photographers going to be entering the market as AI gets better and better, takes more and more people's jobs. And you're realizing that you not only need these slots, you got to fortify your position on page 1 by having actually so many links that Google wants to rank on page 1, but you've already taken up so many slots that Google actually starts putting your page 1 worthy links and filling up page 2, 3, and 4, because you realize you actually need to essentially prevent all your other competing boudoir photographers currently in your city from ever ranking on page 1, and definitely prevent any of the future boudoir photographers that come after AI takes their jobs from ever ranking on page 1. So you realize, and you actually got to fortify your position there. And as a result, You're saying, okay, how do I get so many links in a short time frame to actually achieve this? And you realize, okay, SQ methodology is the only solution to do that. You also understand SQ methodology is building up basically these invisible thematic keyword columns, plugged in, attached to your brand, and kind of like in the back end, cyberspace and the internet, attached to your brand name, business name, website name, your personal name, all your social handles, and there's a big cloud of who you are. And we're building up this like back end AI keyword mindshare, all plugged into this, cloud of your brand and who you are. And every day we build up, add more and more columns, fortify, build those columns out. It actually increases the probability we are recommended here as the one premium option for AI overview and search, which is the most premium placement, and we cannot buy this with ads. And you also understand in parallel to increase the probability that the chat, the AI search apps, AI chat apps actually increase the probability you recommended there too. ChatGPT, Google Gemini, Claude, Perplexity, Microsoft Copilot. You understand that? Okay, higher chance you'll be recommended there. Last time I searched for a boudoir photographer in a city, there's a ChatGPT recommended me 3. I then went and did manual searches on Google and Facebook, and I found about 60 of them. So we definitely need any possible way to get recommended this AI search. And what we found is the highest probability solution that provides that is, again, SQ methodology, because it's building up these invisible thematic keyword columns. And so you're liking all those feature benefits. You're also liking future benefit of SQ methodology can help you build a large, well-known brand approximately 8x faster than traditional methods. That's a cool feature benefit as well. And you understand that my current plan is to only work with one boudoir photographer per city. So you actually like that you can get all these benefits and prevent all your competitors from getting these benefits, enabling you to build up kind of this large, massive back end, this large gap in links that are out there that Google wants to rank on page 1, and also these future kind of this back-end AI keyword mindshare momentum for all these AI chat systems and AI overview recommendations. And you've decided because of that, you're going to be the first mover, first one in your city to adopt this, because you understand the converse. If one of your competitors were to sign on with me first, they would actually get these benefits. They begin all these links and backup links throughout page 1, 2, 3, 4. They would be kicking you off page 1 to page 2 or deeper, making you invisible to approximately 80% of the market. They'd be, basically building up this back-end AI keyword mindshare, massive gap between me and your competitor and you. And so for you to compete, you would actually have to increase, or first you'd have to rederive SQ methodology. Well, actually derive it for the first time. And once you did that, you would then have to actually execute it every day, equal to us. And if you did that, then you're simply maintaining the gap because we're executing every day as well. So the gap is remaining the same. And so for you to actually make any progress, you'd have to double or triple our output to then start pulling that, back-end AI keyword mindshare momentum away from me and your competitor, back to yourself. And again, you would never be 100% confident you've even derived the system correctly in the first place. And so it would hard to be even put in the effort to outwork us 2 to 3x. And after all that, you're realizing, screw that. I ain't got 80 hours to do all this, worry about all this stuff, 80 hours per day. So you decide you're simply going to be a first mover in your city and just not miss out on this opportunity, and simply, simply go first so you don't miss out. So if that's you, shoot us a DM. The hospital is currently closed for new patient intake, so DMs are currently closed, so you cannot work with us even if you wanted to. But when the hospital does open for new patient intake, shoot us a DM and we will see if you qualify for utilizing our S-cubed methodology.